Hey, it's TooneySA here with the second part of my challenge run. It's the no flaming run, also called flameless, or also called charge only. You can call it whatever name you like, I don't really care. So in this challenge run I'm not able to use the flame function. I am however allowed to spit rocks, and I'm not allowed to use super flame either because that's still technically flaming. Here you can see 4% from the other run that we did so far. That's already at 4%. We're currently at 0% for this run, but we're going to change that very quickly. Unlike the other run, I'm not going to be watching cutscenes, and I'm not going to explain the game mechanics quite as much. So this is not so much a let's play, more of a let's get to the point sort of run. So yeah, this is obviously charging, we're allowed to do that. This is flaming, and we're not allowed to do this once we actually begin the challenge. I have a rough idea of how many gems and things I can get in Glimmer, just from knowledge of the game. And Glimmer's a very straightforward level, there's not really much to it. You'd expect that, it being the first level that you enter. So there's a projection in my mind of what my target is to get in this level. Just getting rid of all the flame energy before we begin the run. I'm not going to be able to touch that button very often. So yeah, we're going to go up the steps to get our first set of gems. Luckily there are no sort of charge proof chests or anything like that in this stage. There's only a handful of charge proof chests in the game, I think. There's not very many. But, yeah, there's our first obstacle. We cannot charge this guy, he's too big. We would require flame to kill him. So we're going to have to just avoid him. That's going to be a regular motif throughout this level, is me just avoiding the big enemies because they're usually surrounded by a handful of gems. But yeah, Glimmer is a very straightforward level. There's not really a great deal to actually talk about because it's so straightforward. We can just charge around and get pretty much everything in the opening area. Enemies, as said in the first episode, they don't drop gems, so skipping the big enemies isn't a huge deal because we're not missing out on gems. But as they turn into spirit tokens, they do unlock the super glide portal in Glimmer, which we're actually not going to end up needing to use at all. This run here, on this particular run, is going to operate somewhat similar to the glideless challenge in my projection. I'm not entirely sure yet. But yeah, we can use double jump just like we did in the other challenge. It's Spyro there. It's pretty much the same rule set as the first challenge. Nothing really needs to change for it. So yeah, we can see the end of the game down here. Like, that's one of the cool things I'll be showing you on this challenge run a bit more, is things like skipping money bags and how to get out of bounds a few times. So you could actually skip to the lizard area there. If you went a bit further along, you can actually get to the end of the level and just skip straight to the talisman. If you're if you're somewhat familiar with Spyro, you'll know that you can skip a lot of stuff in the second game. Alright, this is something that I really wanted to do in the first episode but couldn't. Destroy those 3 lizards quivering in fear in a row. You could say they didn't have a gem to stand on. And I've got a bone to pick with these enemies. I'm going to call that guy running away Notch. And I'm going to break up this Minecraft party. Oh, well, that's it. I'm kind of out of puns. Can't think of any more minor puns. Time for my time to shine, I guess. Shine bright like a diamond. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, we just passed Zoe, so we've got our first checkpoint. Not that I plan on dying at all. We're up to 7 enemies, and if you remember the super glide portals up here. Oops. The super fly portals up here allows us to actually fly instead of glide, but we need 10 enemies for that. We're currently on 7, and this is about all you're going to see of this portal. We're never actually going to get it open. We are missing an enemy outside, and there's a couple more enemies in the level, but we can only kill one of them, I believe. The other one we can't. The other two we can't kill. So I'm just gonna go down here now. This is where the fun starts. You can see, oh, there's another 3 enemies actually. 3 enemies right here. This would put us up to the total 10, but we can't kill them, so we're just gonna evade, and get the gems. This guy's a bit of an annoying one. Can just about avoid him though, going around the back. Due to the easy nature of this level, it's not a huge deal if we do get hit, to be honest. There's lots of fodder around in the former ladybugs. So, skip money bags 101. Go up here. Use the charge jump. The double jump to go up here. And we're just not going to pay money bags at all in this run. So, on the surface, it'll seem like we have a lot more gems, but in reality, when I open the guidebook, it'll end up being the same percentage regardless of how many gems you have on hand. It's still a gem collected whether or not you give it to money bags or not, because ultimately you get the gems back. And there's our first talisman, so there we go. We have proven we can do the talisman on this level without flaming at all. Not a particularly huge achievement, as you saw. We could have skipped to the end right at the start of the level. So there's another big enemy we can't kill. This is a small enemy we can kill, which we're going to kill him just because this isn't the pacifist run. We're up to 9 enemies. You see that? We're 1 enemy short of having enough to open the portal. I think there's 14 enemies on this level. 14 or 13. There's 1 here, 3 in the other room, and then 1 in the start room here. So there's 5 enemies that we can't kill in this level. So, yep, this is all we're going to see of this portal. Just going to check that I didn't miss anything while I was running around. It does feel nice to charge again, that's all I can say. Oh, there we go. I was going to miss something. So I'm going to talk to this guy.
But I'm afraid you're not much use to me until that magic power-up is active. You can help me out.
Alright, so yeah, he's just confirming that we can't get in there. This is just bonus dialogue. So the game really holds your hand compared to Spyro, the Dragon one. There's tutorials left, right and centre, and you're never really left to figure out what to do, as those little green text boxes come up usually if you ask enough. Just made it up here, that's okay. You'll see those little holes in the ground, that's where the lizards usually scurry off to, but yeah, I did ask if in the first episode if the lizards do start already spawned, but it appears that they don't just by looking at the holes. Looks like that they only spawn when you activate the quest. The 2 Superfly power-up missions are to get the lamps, and you can only get those by flaming. Charging doesn't work on the lamps at all, spitting rocks doesn't work on the lamps at all. But just for fun, on this lizard quest, I'm going to go for, trying to kill as many of them as I can with charge only, even though spitting rocks isn't illegal. I guess this just makes this level a little bit more interesting, because it's otherwise a little bit of a static and boring level. There's not really much going on. Not a lot to figure out apart from the money bag skip, but we figured that out in episode 1 already, so it's not revolutionary by any means.
Nice shooting!
There we
Follow
go.
me to the next lizard.
First enemy down. Just going to go back up there to get the chest, because it's really hard to get both in one pass. Believe it or not, I got it in practice, but getting them both in one pass in reality can be a bit of a challenge. We're at 400 out of 400 gems, so not only do we have the talisman, we've also got all of the gems on this stage without having to press flame at all. This lizard might be a little bit more challenging because he's a bit of a distance away, so he has more time to react to us coming. The best thing to do is to try and go to him while he's dancing, because he has to break out of that animation and like switch to his running animation, which takes a little bit of time and just enough for us to catch him. I feel like if I hadn't accidentally tapped right at the end there, I should have been able to get him. Let's try again. Get as close as you can, and there we go, alright. just gotta wait for him to catch up. It is a very annoying NPC that you have to be within like a very short radius for him to recognise that you're following him. He also gives me painful flash forwards to Spyro 3 with the moles, which if I ever end up doing this on Spyro 3, I'm already super aware that it's even more restricted than Spyro 2. Alright, can we get to this lizard? Okay, let's try it. Oh, I fell way short there. I think that's because I went from a more standard charge jump. Maybe I should add a little bit of spice in there, a little bit of pizzazz with a double jump. Okay, so if you stand too close, he does recognise that you're there, even though I'm still some distance away. This one's a bit more difficult to reach. So yeah, as soon as you get into this kind of area, so I need to come from over here and just swing left while he's dancing again, take advantage of the animation. Oh, not like that. Spyro, are you bonkers? I'm bonking a lot. It's just like you said, Lizard Man. Bonking is bad. Oh, I'm surprised I got that. Okay, I didn't even hit him clean. I must have just like touched the tail end of his tail. The tip of the iceberg. The last liter of lizard. I don't know. Yeah, so there's 2 lizards left in the starting area. I mean, I kind of like the concept that you have to revisit through the level for this, but this is too low. We're going to need to employ a little bit of creativity to get this fifth lizard. We're going to just go around the houses or the hills, or as they say in Birmingham where I'm from, round the Wrekin. And we're going to need to double jump from here to over there, and we are even luckier because he actually moves away from his hole significantly, giving us plenty of time to do a double jump over. So he's arguably the easiest lizard to get, really, once you're up on that boundary. This last guy, believe it or not, I spent 20 minutes of my free time trying to find a way to get up there. And even if you had Superfly and you're able to get out of the cave, which is pretty difficult to do in itself, you still can't get up there. It doesn't allow you to go high enough. So we are just going to have to accept that's the end of the lizard killing with charge only run, and we're going to have to spit a rock at him. Spit some hard to swallow rocks.
Yay! You saved my crop of gems from the lizards. Here, take this orb. Some girl with wings dropped it here yesterday.
And we have a single orb out of 3. We're at our limit of what we can actually do in this level now, unfortunately. You can't take rocks outside the level, might as well fire it. You did see a flame there, but that was accidental. I was just trying to get rid of that rock. So yeah, we're going to head to Summer Forest now. Unfortunately, we leave without a level complete. We're 2 orbs short. So a decently strong start, but not perfect, because we're going to need those orbs later in the game. Here's a look at the guidebook. We're at 73% out of 100 on Glimmer. And yep, I'll see you in the glideless run, which will be the next episode. Ciao!